Good morning, everyone. Hey, Will.
There he is.
I just had trouble logging in. Sorry, guys. I was like,
Oh,
why
okay.
can't I log in again? But here we are.
Morning.
Hey, Chris.
Apparently, Colorado Springs is the
Oh,
cool
the
side of the
cool
Rockies.
side. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
the
but
cooler, but like the fun side is my side.
yeah, and New York City where it's at. Like that's
Oh
where
Yeah.
it's all
yeah.
happening. So you guys can have your little whatever you're doing over there.
Right.
The city. I'm just kidding.
And it just so happens that virtual is, been more accepted lately. And so I work with both the VA through the Live Whole Health program as well as with the Movement RX, which is I founded it 8 years ago, and it definitely doesn't look anything like it did 8 years ago. And now I run these virtual experiences with some amazing people. So got two little kids. I'm a wife, a mother.
A guided meditation as part of this special workshop. So thanks for having me. I guess it's Will's turn.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, hey, I'm top right, and my
I don't even. I
so
have a different view.
well, hello everybody. Will Schneider, the cool space, New York City. I've been in New York City for 18 years. No children yet, not married yet, so I'm like kind of a little bit of an anomaly here. So I bring my own set of emotional skills and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I've been teaching yoga in the city for the last I got like 11, 12 years. Um, I've been on my own mindfulness journey. We have Men Talking Mindfulness, John and I. Um, I'm a former collegiate athlete, so I really enjoyed, and I found yoga like 15 years ago or something like that. And I really enjoyed how the practice of yoga has taken me deeper into my body, not just to find more strength, but to find more opening in my body as well. And what I also like about the practice is it kind of takes the movement from the physical therapy aspect and the work that Dr. T is doing. It takes the breathing and the meditation and the mindfulness that John's doing, and it kind of brings them together, into one practice. So I think it's a nice addition here with the three of us. This little triangle, if you will, of really becomes like a nice, complete, well-rounded or well proportioned, I guess. Because it's not round, it's a triangle.
Okay, how'd you
So,
do math over there?
I know.
Geometry.
Okay, we're gonna work with Pythagorean theorem later for sure. That's just that. I know. I got you, John. John's a math guy. So am I. So yeah. So it just really brings these elements together. We bring them into a physical practice to help you open up your body, strengthen your body, begin to understand your breath, and it becomes a moving meditation. Is really what the yoga practice is, and it's way beyond, as we just experienced in the class before, way beyond stretching. And we're gonna work with some of those tools today, just to show you someone has the sore back, I got you covered. We'll work on a couple simple things today to help release that back. And I'm glad we're doing more of this yoga because our bodies are really taking a massive hit by hunching over our technology all day. And this could be a great way to wake up the body, wake up the mind, find more of our breath, and really just energize us for whatever the occasion might be. So it's good to be here, and thanks for everyone for being here. And it's great to be
Awesome,
part of the
Will.
team.
Yeah, thank you. And that was a great. So Will just taught a yoga session on our mindfulness platform, mindfulness movement platform, and it was great. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen here, everyone. Just make sure you can see it. One sec. You all can see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the only PowerPoint slide we have, actually, which is great. So I used in the Marine Corps, and I didn't actually say that I was in the Marine Corps. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And we used to sit in class, and it was like death by PowerPoint. And I used to, tell myself like I will never show PowerPoint in a presentation. And lo and behold, I do. But I always make it very active. So here we created this pyramid of physical and emotional freedom because I was, when you think about mindfulness and movement, it's like kind of these abstract terms that could mean a lot. Movement might mean something totally different to you than it means to us, right? Or mindfulness. So what we wanted to do is, kind of clarify where we are on this emotional and physical health pyramid. So there obviously is the ability to do strength training workouts and, add strength to your movements and build habits of, hour of meditation a day. And typically when we think of like getting well, generally a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm just going to join a CrossFit gym and do 7 days a week or do 5 days a week, or, I'm in a Peloton, I'm going to do it 7 days a week, whatever, right? It's kind of like this, there's this very much an all or nothing behavior that we see out there. And when people can't commit to that 7 days or that, 5 days a week for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, because they see that's what another, Navy SEAL is doing, or another dude who looks like his muscles are bigger than his neck or whatever, right? Then they're just going to quit. And that often happens. Is like we quit before we even start, because we put these expectations on ourselves that may not be realistic for our life. And even so, right, if there's dysfunction in our body in any way, adding strength to that dysfunction isn't going to help you, right? Or just adding an hour of meditation to a mind that's all over the place isn't where to start, right? You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. And so where we want to start with everyone, and hey, I am all for training, but what we need to do on a daily basis for all of us is start at number 1, where we develop a mindfulness practice. That doesn't mean, and John will go this, doesn't mean you have to meditate all the time, but mindfulness, he'll explain what that means, but on a general level, this building of awareness. How are you in the world? Like, how are you relating to people in front of you? Do people that work for you, if you're a boss, like you and actually respond to you and respect you? Do you even know that? Are you aware of how you treat people, your kids, your wife, your husband, how you hold your neck all day long? This level of awareness is very much lacking, this level of connectivity to our mind and body. The system downregulation is, we're referring to the nervous system, right? Our central nervous system goes from our brain, right, all the way down to the edge of our bottom of our pelvis. So that central nervous system, spinal cord, is very important for how we, engage in the environment, how we feel. And so, heightening that level of awareness, that ability to be calm on a daily basis versus always like triggered and heightened and stimulated with technology and things to do and to-do lists. We carry this tension and these triggers, and it just builds up. And as John likes to explain, like we push them into the basement. Like, oh, I'll figure that out later. I'm just going to keep going. Go, 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 go. That person's doing this. I need to do that. Like, oh man, when I get home from work, I need to watch the football replay or whatever. Like giving ourselves a chance to find calm, find space, like learn how to warm up efficiently, learn how to move our body and figure out where our dysfunctions in our body actually are, so we can actually focus on that area versus like thinking about working on head to toe. Like we do want to work on head to toe, but if you have issues with your low back, what is the cause of that low back pain versus like, you know what, I'm just going to foam roll from head to toe and we'll see how it goes. So system down regulation is really important for us. And that's where I come into play, is like kind of giving you this assessment, understanding where you're at. And we'll do a little bit of that today. So are there any questions about this pyramid? So tissue mobility, meditation, food training, strength training, habits are all important, but you got to learn how to be aware, start to be aware and learn how to create calm in the mind and body first before you start adding layers. That's it in a nutshell. And I'm going to stop share here. There's no questions. And 1 second. Just give me a moment. So what I'd like you all to do now is put in the chat, so green, yellow, or red. Okay, so green is you're focused here, you're here and now, you're good to go. There's no distractions around you. Yellow, and you can privately send it to us. Yellow is like you're a little distracted, but you're here. And then red is like your head is out in left field. You're not even here. So if you would go ahead and put that in the chat, what you are, red, yellow, or green, that would be super helpful for us. And I'm going to, now that I spoke about that pyramid, right, now we're going to show you some of the things that we offer on this experience. John teaches 21 days of meditations that are very practical for your life. Yoga, Will teaches yoga and mindfulness, and I help with prehab and any injuries or things that are going on and joint routines. So what I'm going to do is have John actually take you through a meditation now, and we can check in on these colors afterwards. So we got a green, a yellow, yellow, eating lunch and holding baby. Yeah. Holding everything is right with the world when you're holding a baby, to be honest, especially when it's yours.
You need to come hold one of mine sometime.
I know.
Sometimes when I'm holding one of mine, the world does not seem right.
Yeah, I know. Well, for a moment, it's, the screams are one thing, but holding them is like,
totally kidding. That is definitely, when you're living mindfully, you definitely appreciate the holding of the babies and all the miracles that surround having little ones, or just being in the moment in life without little ones. And that's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness and meditation, we hear those terms thrown around a lot these days, and they're used synonymously in mainstream media, on social media. Everywhere you look, you'll hear meditation used synonymously with mindfulness, and they're not the same. They're definitely intertwined, but they're not the same. So mindfulness, if you can kind of envision a Venn diagram, I'm a math major, as Will mentioned before. If you envision a Venn diagram, which are those old circle diagrams where one overlaps the other, mindfulness is in one circle. Mindfulness is nothing more than being in the present moment, being aware of the physical sensations in the present moment, being aware of the emotional sensations in that very moment. So not worrying about what you screwed up or did yesterday, not thinking about what's going to be happening in the future, later today, later tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever. It is being present right here, right now. That's mindfulness. Meditation, on the other hand, or in the other circle in the Venn diagram, that's a formal practice. That's where you set aside time very intentionally to sit down and focus on some type of anchor, whether that's your breath, whether that's a body scan, whether that's a mantra, whatever the case may be. That's meditation. It's a formal practice. And then where the two circles overlap, that's mindfulness meditation. That's where you are being aware of the present moment, the physical and emotional sensations of the present moment within a meditation. And quite often what we use for that anchor in a mindfulness meditation is the breath. So we're probably most likely going to do a lot of breath work throughout the mindfulness and movement experience, but we'll also be doing some breath work right here and right now. So before we do that, though, what I want you to do is, we talked about yellow, green, and red, where you are with your mind, but what we call in the mindfulness and movement experience an internal selfie. So basically, imagine taking a camera, turning that around so that you're taking a picture of yourself, but instead of getting a picture of your external side, what you're getting a picture of is what your mind looks like. Is your mind all over the place? Is your mind wandering about your task list? Is your mind thinking about things that you screwed up yesterday or may screw up later today? Is your mind thinking about everything except the present moment here and now? Is your mind full instead of mindful? Is your body, what's your body doing? Is it green, yellow, or red? So a lot of that busyness that's in our head manifests as tension and stress in our bodies, and sometimes even pain. So note what your body looks like in that internal selfie. And then finally, your nervous system. So we've got your mind, your body, and then your nervous system. What does your nervous system feel like right now? Do you feel jacked up, jazzed, or are you feeling nice and calm, relaxed, present? So that's what we do in the mindfulness and movement experience, are those internal selfies prior to a meditation. And then after the meditation, you take it again, essentially, quote unquote, take it again, and essentially note the difference. So during the meditation, we're going to be tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system. And I know Dr. T will get more into this, but that's the rest and digest nervous system. The other side is the sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight, flight, or freeze nervous system. That's there to defend us from threats. And we are living in that state of constant threat, constant defending ourselves from threat. Well, what I want to do during this meditation through the mindfulness and movement experience is introduce you to a way of taking control back, tapping into that parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system and calming yourself down. So that was a very long intro to this meditation that we'll be doing. And again, it will be a mindfulness meditation this morning. So go ahead, tap into that parasympathetic nervous system by getting into a comfortable position, whatever that may look like for you. You may be laying down, you may be sitting. I like to sit with both feet planted firmly on the ground. I put my hands palm up on my lap. Palm up invites a feeling of vulnerability, which allows that parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system to take over. I sit straight, but not stiff, head up. And I personally close my eyes. If that's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. Otherwise, just soften your gaze and maybe stare down the bridge of your nose. And now, when you're comfortable, set your intention for this meditation. What do you hope to get out of it? In your mind, think about what you hope to get out of this. And now, with that intention in mind, bring your attention to your breath, the physical sensation of breathing, not forcing it, just noting the physical sensation of breathing in and breathing out. If you're able, try to breathe in through your nose, noting the expansion of your belly, chest, and lungs. And as you breathe out through your mouth, noting the contracting of your belly, chest, and lungs. As you breathe in through your nose, note the air, the cool air at the very tips of your nostrils. Note that physical sensation. And as you breathe out, note the air passing out past your lips, a little bit warmer than it was before. And if you've noticed that your mind has wandered off to some other place, some other time, just notice that and gently bring yourself back to the anchor of your breath. Not judging yourself, not getting frustrated. Your mind is built to think thoughts, just like the heart is built to beat. Don't judge yourself. Just bring it back to the anchor. That's actually where a lot of the magic happens, is noticing that your mind has wandered off and coming back to the anchor. The anchor here being your breath. We'll close this out together. Very simple meditation with 3 box breaths. We'll breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4. We'll do that 3 times. The entire time, paying attention to the physical sensations of the breath. Begin by breathing out all your air. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. 3, 2, 1. Out for 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4. 3, 2, 1. In for 4. Hold at the top for 4. 3, 2, 1. Out for 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4. 3, 2, 1. That's 2. In for 1 more. 3, 4. Hold at the top. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 4. 3, 2, 1. And last, hold for 4. Now just breathe naturally, and on your own time, start to bring some movement back in your body. Maybe move your head around. your eyes were closed, blink them open slowly. And that is a meditation. That's a very simple meditation. If you've never meditated before, that in and of itself is enough to have done a meditation. And if you, again, notice that your mind wandered off during the meditation, just bringing it back, that's where a lot of the neurological and physiological rewiring happens in your brain that allows us to be more focused and present throughout our day, which is why meditation improves your mindfulness and why mindfulness improves your meditation. Meditation is going to allow you to be more present through the day. Thanks for that opportunity to lead that, Dr. T. And I think it's Will's turn to run through some yoga, right?
It is, yeah. And just so you all know, that when it comes to the meditations, right, John taught a very simple 5-minute, basically around 5 minutes, which is what the meditations are, 5 to 10 minutes. We always say if you can commit to 10 minutes a day. The meditations have all different themes to it. Some of the more popular ones that people love to go back to, because you have access to all of them, is letting go of your story and coming to peace with pain. We know that when you can't accept something, you suffer more. Obviously, I help people with pain, however, and function, but still understanding and accepting where you're at is a big thing. And so reminders of that is where John's meditations have been very powerful. And that's just feedback from tribe members we have. So thank you very much, John. That was great. And I needed that. And I'm going to now kick it over to Will to kind of explain and go into some yoga, maybe a mini practice of what you do on the platform. And since we have some people with low back stuff, maybe the focus can be there.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so thank you again. One thing that this whole experience, I think what's important to mention is that we are just at our core nature, we are energetic beings, and we're emotional beings at our core. And all these practices with, the breath we just experienced with John, and being more mindful, as we'll continually experience throughout the M2 experience, and the work we'll do with Dr. T, is going to help us to get in touch with our emotional and energetic self, and then do something about it. And that's really what it is. Because if we are pulled into some sort of emotional state, and it can really stay with us, maybe for a day, maybe a week, or even a thought as well, maybe for years. And these practices are going to help us to understand that that's just a mental construct or just an emotional feeling, right? And do something about it. And again, the yoga practice is going to help us to get emotionally fresh, gain mental clarity, and also to, I like to think of our body as a car, right? And the more that we exercise that car, stretch the car, strengthen it, rotate the tires and get oil changes and stuff like that, the car is going to serve us, and it's going to allow us. It's going to allow us to travel many, many miles and many, many decades with this car. But if we neglect the car, it breaks down. And and the practice of yoga is really going to help us to access and become aware, which is super key, of so many aspects of our car. We don't necessarily think of our hands as a way to open up our forearms and open up our shoulders and find more of our chest, but it's all so beautifully intricately connected. And the practice of yoga is so beautifully designed in order to help us create more physical, mental, and emotional and breath awareness. And that's what the whole practice is about. Or the physical practice of yoga is going to help us to achieve and attain and become more aware of. So let's start by opening up our wrists a little bit, right? Which we do a lot of, like typing and texting and stuff like that, and close down the space in our wrists and our shoulders and our neck, right? So we're going to interlace our fingers and squeeze the palms nice and tight, okay? We're going to get into the back a little bit. So we're going to take the arms out in front of us, right? Or we're going to slowly begin to make little figure eights with our wrists. You can start slow if you need to, right? Maybe get a little bit faster, really continually clasping those palms nice and tight. That's in rotating. Let's do 5 more in this direction, right? Really continually achieve and finding more mobility in those wrists. That's it. The other way, it gets super funky, but see if we can go the other direction. Maybe slow it down to go figure it the other way. Right. Also, what's going to be so nice about the yoga practice is everything is in opposition. So we're going to find our left side. We're going to find our right side. We're going to rotate right, rotate left. So we can really find center and find balance. Good. Let's take those hands. Nice work. Push the palms out in front of you. Right. Keep the fingers webbed nice and tight. Push the arms all the way out so my arms are nice and long. I'll go a little profile here so you can get a better angle and look at what's going on. So out, arms are long. Keep the chest open. Let's take a few breaths here. Inhale and keep really pressed away from yourself. Right, with those palms, but also try, however you're sitting or if you're standing, that's fine, but root down into the feet or the sit bones and lengthen up to the spine. Right, good. Take one more breath here. Push those wrists away. So really get active and strong. And let's take the arms all the way up to the sky. Elbows in line with the ears. Keep pushing the arms up. Imagine you're kind of like pushing away the ceiling and go up. Elbows in line with the ears. Right, the arms are also in line with the hips. Give yourself a couple more breaths here. Push up. I'm going to take a little bit more of an angle here so you guys can see a little bit more. Good. One more time. Everybody, keep those arms up, right? And let's go tick-tock side to side. We're going to find lateral, opposite sides of our body. That's it. And good. You really notice you want to strengthen down and lengthen up. Push those palms away. Really try to even rotate those index fingers up to get the inside of your forearms open. Two more. Just back and forth, because in our practice, right, really want to continually find opening in the spine, right? We're going to twist left and right. We're going to open laterally left and right, but also fold and unfold. Very nice. Good. Let's go. One more time. Take the hands behind your head. Let's find some breath. Elbows out nice and wide. Right, and let's slowly rotate left and take an inhale through your nose. And exhale out the other side. And go back and forth, in and out. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the elbows nice and wide, right? The elbows are wider, right? You're going to find a deeper opening across the top of the chest. We open the chest. We create more availability for our lungs so we can find more breath and begin to change ourselves, right? The energy of ourselves, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Good. 3 more. Keep going, in and out. Let's keep going. Right, and we're going to also do some wonderful breath practices as we continually find our yoga practice. Right, 2 more. That's it. Good. Awesome. Take it through center. Pause. Take a big, giant inhale. Lift the chin. Open up your mouth. Really wide. Exhale out. Good. Let's take a fold, everybody. Right, so we're going to get on our feet for this one. Okay. Feet are going to be 6 inches apart. I'll get a little wider. Yeah. Good. Oh, beautiful. So all we're going to do is slowly, feet 6 inches, or if you want to take the feet a little wider, go right ahead. So feet are going to be 6 inches. You can bend the knees. We could all touch the floor if we bend our knees a little bit. Right? You can measure with those fists between. We're going to measure a lot in our practice because we want to get into also the yoga practice being in alignment with the body. And then palm your elbows. Right, and just drop down and sway side to side. Right, good. So back and forth, easy. And notice the relationship. If you bend your knees, how your back feels. If you lengthen your legs, how your legs and your back feel. Just sway side to side here. But also your low core muscles. Can you pull them into your body, which will create more space in that low back, and just hang. Notice, shake your head yes and no. That's part of your back as well. Soften your jaw, which will help relax some of that tension in your body, and just go back and forth. And let's find a little bit more of the shoulders. How about interlace the fingers behind your back and then bring those palms together and draw the fisted hands over top of your head and drop down. That's it. Oh, elbows are long as you can. Palms are tight. And draw those fists over top of the head as you continually fold. 2 more breaths here. And notice the strength just to hold this pose. You might, find your thighs starting to talk to you a little bit. Oh, yeah. Good. Again, so it's not just a stretch. There's a lot of strength that's in the practice. Take 1 more breath here. Nice, everybody. Good. Now release those hands. Stay on your feet. Inhale, lift up to the sky. Go stand up nice and tall. All the way up. Stand up. Take a little back bend. Go up, arms up. Good. Exhale, bend the knees. Fold yourself down nice and easy. Continually find your feet. And a couple more. Rise all the way up. Press into the earth. Up. Very nice. Good. 1 more time. Take it down. Easy. Last one. We go up to the sky. Very nice. Great stuff, guys. Now, last moments here. We're going to take a little lunge. Right foot forward, Left foot back, right? If you want to go way back with that left foot and drop in deeper, go right ahead. You know, if you're a little unstable, maybe shorten that stance, okay? Good. And then either hands behind your back if you want to open up the front of the shoulders. So I'll change the angle here a little bit. Good, 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 good. Or palm the elbows above you if you like. Good, 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 good. And drop into that lunge. You begin to find more of our hips here. That's it, and go up. Nice. We'll do one more breath here. Nice lunge. Beautiful. And let's do the other side. So step it forward with the back foot and step the front foot back. And then go up again and lift and stay. Yeah, and sink the hips lower, bring the heart up. Oh, find that right hip or whatever, right, the back leg that's back is the hip that you're going to find. One more breath. That's the way. Good, guys. Beautiful. And this hand, step forward. Let's fold once again. And just open up your back for a couple more moments here. Sway side to side. So we're hanging down, guys. Hanging down. Bounce, sway, let go. Find an inhale. Maybe take a nice exasperating exhale out the mouth. And one more inhale. Great, guys. Let it go, let it go, let it go. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, when you're ready, good. Come back, find your seat. Once you find your seat, let's just finish with a couple more breaths. So take that nice long spine. And just kind of check in. Again, coming back to what John was talking about, that internal self, is notice yourself. If you've mentally changed a little bit, is there more clarity and less clutter? Do you feel a little bit more emotionally harmonious and peaceful? And does your body feel any different? Nice. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thanks for practicing, everybody. And
thank you, Will.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
That was awesome. And I will, just share about Will here that I shared on the live this morning, because he may not say it, is that he was voted one of the top 10 yoga instructors in New York City, which there's a lot of people in New York City.
Thousands of teachers, apparently.
That's yeah, that's but what I love about, I just did his yoga class before, in my grid square of space, is that you bring very much a strength piece to it and a anatomy knowledge, which is really nice. So I hope you all enjoyed that and brought a little bit more awareness to what maybe feels tight, because you definitely did that for me this morning. Is areas I need to work on in my body. So that is one of the beautiful things about yoga, is it is one of the oldest movement practices humans have done. And most of the poses that you learn in yoga, you don't have to know the Sanskrit, I think that's what they call it, or anything like that. It's just, but it does help you express the primal movements in a healthy way. So that is something that I love that Will very much brings to the table here. So what I want to do now, so you got a little bit of taste of, okay, there's these meditations that are totally doable. And by the way, with these meditations, it's not just via an app where you plug and play. It's like, a human being on the other side, a Navy SEAL commander teaching you them, who's experienced a lot of hardship, ups and downs in life, who has done this practice because it's helped him. And so on this experience, every week you get to connect with John and Will about what these meditations are like for you, if you want, or you can just do them in your own time. So where I come in here is the movement person, more from what I like to look at. Part of this experience is that everyone does an assessment. We look at your pain, right? Pain is subjective. John, Will, and I each have, maybe we could have the same shoulder injury, but we each experience that shoulder injury differently because of who we are. So we actually have an outcome measure that we ask you about, and then we look at your emotional energy and time, like how you are doing different things in your life, And, do you have the energy? Do you feel like you have the time for those things? Or do you feel pretty taxed out? More often than not these days, just because of the current times, people have very little energy, right? They're in an energy crisis is what we say. And so, and oftentimes that can be very scary for people. Like, how do I get my energy back when I've got kids and a business and all these things? Well, there's things that you can do on a daily basis, right? There's things that you can do for yourself, and it's a process, not a pill. Very empowering process, actually. So you get the, where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought for a second. This is what happens sometimes. I still blame it on having 2 little ones, but yeah. So we've got the meditations, you got the check-ins, we've got the yoga. So where I come in is this assessment piece, right? We look at the pain, we look at energy and time, and then we look at your movement. And this is all stuff that you can do on your own, right? It's all recorded. It takes you about 20 minutes, and everyone does it. And so they can kind of get an idea of like, okay, how's my neck doing? How's my low back? How's my knees? How's my ankles? Because oftentimes people will come in like saying, I have neck pain, when their neck moves well, but their mid back doesn't, right? Or their shoulder, they have shoulder pain and their shoulder moves well, but their neck doesn't. And all too often, where the pain is, and any health provider on here can know this, is where the pain isn't where the problem is. And so where I'm not doing, hardcore rehab with you, like if you have a significant injury, I'm going to refer you to someone to get help. But all too often than not these days, because of the way insurance is, it's really hard to get quality care from a health provider. And I have been able to give people very quality care in a matter of, this 21-day experience, at least get people started on healing and actually healing and feeling empowered versus feeling like, oh man, I have to pay for blah, blah, blah for twice a week for 6 weeks. And really, I don't know if I'm going to get much from that because I only get 15 minutes with the health provider. That's kind of the normal story these days when you go to a health provider. You don't get very much time and you kind of get strung along in some ways. And with the good ones, you don't, right? So what I want to do now is I want to actually do a little neck routine with you, since you can see our heads and it's easier to do. We're going to do a quick neck test. So I'm going to just give you an idea of like what T-Pain does with our group of people. Every week I take you through a joint routine that you do daily, right? It takes you about 5 minutes to do. And that 5 minutes of movement medicine is way better than popping NSAIDs or Tylenol or ibuprofen to cover up or mask pain or inflammation. All right, so what we're going to do is everyone either sit or stand up nice and tall with your feet together. If you can't stand or in a wheelchair, that's okay. Just go ahead and roll those shoulder blades back, rotate your neck to the right, bring your chin to the clavicle. And can you touch your chin to the clavicle? That's our terrain feature right there, our clavicle. See Skelly's clavicle right here, right there. So we're trying to touch our chin to our clavicle. Can you do it, yes or no, without elevating your shoulder or opening your jaw? Don't do that. I can't see you, but I can see you. I know that you're doing that or trying to. So rotate your neck, bring your chin to your clavicle. Can you do it, yes or no? And if you can't, how many fingers are you away from the clavicle? So right now, I can touch on my right. Now let's see if I can do it on my left. Rotate to the left, chin to the clavicle. Okay. I'm a finger away on the left. All right. So good, check in there. There's a little bit of data for you, right? You can touch your neck, great. If you can't, how many fingers? That's some data for you. Now what we're going to do, and I know everyone deals with this is a pandemic in and of itself, this thing, right? Just holding your neck like this all day long means that you have like 60 pounds of pressure in your upper back going into your lower back. Yes, 60 pounds. If you're like this, nobody scrolls on Instagram or Facebook for 2 minutes. It's usually minutes and minutes and minutes, like 10 to 20, right? Or more. I mean, it's astounding how much people spend on their phone. You spend hours and hours in this position, right? It's greatly going to impact the muscles in your upper back. It's going to cause them to tighten. And where do we feel knots? Well, in our upper back. Like oftentimes, like, I need a massage in my upper back. Believe me, I'm there. Some days when I am, when I have this lack of awareness, and I haven't been living mindfully, I will be in this position. At the end of the day, I'm like, man, my upper back is killing me today. So point is we're bringing awareness. Can't rotate your neck optimally. That's okay. We got some work to do. But just being aware of, how much time you're on your phone, what your neck position is like. Like right now, I'm looking at my monitor straight on with a little bit of down, like looking a little bit down. 30 degrees is kind of the ideal with the eyes, right? But that monitor height is at the top of my head. So it's kind of like a poor salute. Right, John? Like, you don't just salute straight, actually. It's like a little down, but you want to do a poor salute. So you're actually saluting straight, and that's the top of the monitor. So your neck isn't like this all day. So those are just like little things to bring awareness, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself kind of thing. That's not a T-Pain quote. That's Dr. T-Pain quote, not rapper T-Pain. So one way to check your neck is get against the wall. Let's just do it real quick. Heels against the wall, back of shoulders against the wall, butt against the wall, and then tuck your chin back, step away, make sure the back of your head touches the wall. That was the curtain, but I'm going to pretend it's a wall. And can you maintain that neck position? Right? That neck should be over the shoulders. So you're now the muscles in your neck and your shoulders work more optimally versus trying to pull your head back all day long. So let's just quickly right now do 5 neck rotations with a little bit of overpressure towards the clavicle. All right. So go ahead and rotate down 5 times, pulling the back of your head down gently towards the clavicle. Okay, we're just going to do 2 techniques here. Pull your head down. Okay. Just give yourself a little bit of overpressure. It's really odd to talk when my chin is down like this. Doesn't feel so good on my throat. My larynx is like, what are you doing, Teresa? You're compressing me. Okay. So next, what you're going to do is go ahead, get your arms out in front of you, feet together. Okay. And then go ahead and rotate the left arm behind you like so, and rotate the neck, and then the right arm behind you. And if you want, you can just put your arms on your chest, right? If you don't have a lot of space, and get some rotation. So 5 rotations, each position. Just a little motion is lotion. Really try to get the rotation from your hips, a little from your lower back, but a lot from your chest and your neck. All right. Go ahead, 5 rotations. And when you're done, okay, go ahead and just do a quick retest of that neck. Rotate, touch your chin to your clavicle. Okay, now I can touch on my left side, actually. Just barely. I've got a little bit more work to do, but I can barely touch. So how is that for you? Go ahead and pop that in the chat. That is just an example of, a short little routine I would give people during the week. Usually add a couple things to it, right? That was a couple techniques. I usually make 4 or 5. And that's the homework for the week for the members. And then there's some extra time during these hours I spend with the members on questions they have about what's going on. Like with their lower back, we had an executive who has bicep tendonitis. We've got some law enforcement guys who have knee issues, shoulder issues, you name it. We have a guy that does like crazy endurance trainings every month, and he did like 5,000 thrusters. So that was nuts, and kind of has some shoulder issues from that. So we work through that, right? And I keep track, just like any PT would, of what's going on and follow up with you. Now, the nice thing is the platform that we have has all of these joint programs that you can do, especially as a member. So there's a lot of support in the movement healing and mindfulness space. So are there any questions about that routine or what I just went over before we wrap it up and share with you a little bit more about the experience, give you the link, and then there's a discount code that you all get. All right, so here's the thing with the 21-day experience. There's no rolling signups, the end of the sign up date. And John or Will, if you can pop the link in the comments with the discount code too. So we're going to give you guys 25% off if you can sign up in the next couple of days. So 48 hours. We've got basically December 1st is the day it starts. Okay, so it's a holiday focused experience, mindfulness and movement experience. And it lasts for 21 days. So it ends right before, Christmas, which is nice. So the whole point is it's preparing you emotionally and physically for what is to come. There's nutrition support, movement support, emotional support on the mindfulness side. And so the way it starts, right, everyone starts on the 1st. And then each day there's live interactions that you can have if you want, but they're all recorded. So everything is in the member area. You can access it. And at a minimum, we ask you to commit to 10 minutes a day, whether it's the movement and meditations. That's it, right? Between the movement and meditations, you can spend 10 minutes minimum and up to an hour a day doing the things. But people get a lot from, literally the research shows if you did 4 days of the meditations over the course of 4 days, you're going to see it change temporarily in your flow, creativity, and tension in your body. All right. Of course, we'd like you to do more, but just so you know, right, there is a huge benefit to just doing a little bit of it. So we give you an assessment where I take you through all the major joints of the body, and we test those, and we see where you're at on a proactive level. Like, where are you at? How's your joint mobility? How's your strength? Right. It takes you 20 minutes to do this assessment. That's one of the pillars of this thing, is that assessment, right? If you want to be healthy, you got to know where you're at in order to get to where you want to go. The tribe, right? We have a tribe meeting, we call it, every week on the experience, where John, Will, and I get on with the members, and we talk about the themes that we've gone through that week or whatever else is coming up for people. It's a nice place to hold space and share what's going on and support each other. There's a lot of veterans, first responders, people of all walks of life working to continue to be wholehearted living people. We have fitness training. So we actually have coaches who understand adaptive movement and take you through a movement education class, as well as adding a little workout WOD of the day. So you get that a couple of times a week during those 21 days, which we also include 2 nutrition classes, a running class, and then there's another option for a class that one of our DPTs covers. It could be on ergonomics, weightlifting, or desk mobility, depending on the group. So it's really actually up to you all to decide what you want. Dr. T time, you get 4 hours of my time during these 21 days. Each week we discuss injuries, we go over movement routines, and help guide you and follow up with you. There's a lot of following up, right? So you feel you're cared for. We actually care, right? It's not just a numbers game. It matters that you're being taken care of. You get 20-minute meditations, and then you get 4 yoga classes. So with Will, and just a lot of support from the other tribe members, right? There's a lot of wealth of knowledge, leadership, people from all walks of life. So those are the main pillars of what we offer: assessment, tribe, fitness and education trainings, Dr. T time, meditations, and yoga. The value of all this is $3,500. So we give out prizes too, actually, each week, as well as awards at the end. The prizes are usually, they amount to around $1,000, but the entire informational part of the program, including time and expertise and attention, is $2,500 in value. So together, $3,500. You get it for $197. What's the discount of 25%, John? Math person? What is that? So it ends up being less than $197, especially if you sign up.
It's about $50.
Okay, thank you. So especially if you sign up in the next 48 hours, right? We want you to take action. This action, once you sign up, it starts, right? Your journey starts. And it doesn't mean the 21 days starts, but your commitment, your excitement, your gift to yourself or someone else starts. So we ask you, put a little timestamp on it in the next 40 hours to sign up using the code 25NOW on the website, movement-rx.com/MTM. So are there any questions for us? John, Will, do you have anything else you want to say?
Well, while we wait for questions to come in, I think it's important to mention, like, we have live classes, but we also then record those classes. You can watch them on your own time, which is awesome. You can watch them at 100 times if you want, or do, any one of these live sessions that we have, or my yoga class several times if it kind of spoke to you. So that's another nice offering as well. So it's nice to do live class, just because you're engaged a little bit differently. But to go back and do that class again, or do that class the first time, is an awesome bonus here as well for this platform.
Yeah, and that's really important to know. It's a question we get a lot. Is I would say 3/4 of our members do everything on their own time, right? Because they either have regular jobs or it just doesn't fit. Most of our live classes are at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. At this phase of my life and season with 2 small children, getting up before that to do any kind of, attention on camera will not happen yet. But the point is 8 o'clock has actually been a really good time for engagement, but people enjoy the recordings. They're all in the member area. And there's a lot of fun interactions. The other thing is we do have a Facebook group. We don't require social media. We do have a very private Facebook group where there's only members in it that are committed to this work. And you get a lot of support in there, which is fun.
I'm going to put the website in. Sorry, I'm going to put the website back in the comments in the chat here again, because if you missed it, and then there's questions about access to the full Movement RX platform during the 21 days. I'll let you answer that there, Teresa. And then as far as maintaining membership after the 21-day mindfulness and movement experience, what you get. So I'll go ahead and put the address.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. I'm glad you have guest quarters. If I come back to San Diego, we can make a house call. More to just say hello. So the way it works, and this is the process, right? So it's 21 days where there's the guided meditations, there's the movement routines, and the access to the fit and free classes and whatnot. So 21 days goes pretty fast, and we always give people an extra 14 days to catch up, right? What they want to, if they didn't miss some meditations or want to go back, they have access to all of that. And then after that, they can choose to become a member, right? The 21 days gives people a chance to see what this is about, really learn and engage and get the habit started. And if they still need support, right, they can become a member. The membership is $29 a month. Where then you get access to the low back fix, the knee fix, the shoulder fix, all the levels of intensity that increase from there. So any joint you're dealing with, trouble you're dealing with, we have a program for it. And then in Dr. T time, I can prescribe that to you, right, and guide you through it each week. So the nice thing about the membership, it just kind of continues the 21 days. You get weekly meditations, still weekly movements. You get all the on-demand programs we've created, my team has created, plus a lot of the challenges, the guides, all that stuff. So there's a lot there that you have access to when you do become a member. However, because life can be overwhelming anyway, and something like this can seem overwhelming, we want to keep it really simple to help you have success, right? What's that first domino that you push down each day, movement and mindfulness wise? And it takes you can redo the meditation over and over again if you want. You can redo the movement routine. Just commit to that 21 days to get that habit started. That's the key, because it's not the cool program, the flashy lights that's going to get you anywhere. It's going to be your commitment. And so we've actually done a lot of research on behavior change, because this isn't just, well, mindfulness and movement sounds great. And I think we have a pretty solid team, actually a very solid team. It's going to be up to you to push down that domino each day and log in, check in, do the movements. And I guarantee you will improve your function and improve your emotional well-being if you do that.
And Dr. T, just real quick, you mentioned we all have busy lives, and you can get overwhelmed, and this in and of itself, this additional thing that you're adding to your list of to do could seem overwhelming. But I'll also tell you that when you stop and you do some movement in the morning, that can help your body and mind feel better throughout the day. When you stop and you do some meditation or you do some mindful meals through your day, that can also help your mind body connection, and it can also help you to feel better and more focused throughout your day. So a lot of the time you're going to get into that state of flow more easily, that zone more easily, and you're going to get more done more quickly. So what normally took you 6 or 7 hours may take you 4 or 5 hours. And when you're doing this, a lot of the time, some of our participants say that they're getting much better sleep through the program. And if they're sleeping better, then they're going to make better decisions the next day. They're going to feel better. And it's just like Dr. T mentioned, it's knocking over that first domino. So if you're able to implement 10 to 20 minutes of movement and meditation / mindfulness in your day regularly, you're going to feel better. And that to-do list is going to seem less overwhelming. So yes, we're adding something to your to-do list, but you could get a lot more out of it. You get a return on investment with adding this to your to-do list. So I just want to make sure I threw that out there.
Yeah, thanks, John. And that's key, is that it can seem like more, but in the end of the day, it's going to make what you do more impactful and more fun. And you'll probably learn how to cut things out of your life that don't serve you or that you don't like to do. Because a lot of people are working in their life to please others, do things for others, but not themselves. We had a quote from a woman who's been in our tribe for a while. She's like, I came for the experience, but I stayed for the tribe. So if anything, if you just need accountability, right, in what you're in your life, then join. We just, sign up. If you have any questions, I'll pop in the chat our email. If there's no other questions, I think we're good to go for today. Thank you, John. Thank you, Will.
Thank you
for your time.
So Waylon's comment there, it's only to us, but thank you for the compliment as far as the content and the daily sessions. Waylon's got a question there at the very end. What time, how early are the daily sessions available? And can you go back to a day?
Oh yeah, you can go back to the day. If you want, you can do all the meditations at once, which we don't recommend. All of the lives, except for one of the Fit and Freeze, are and one of the nutrition sessions are at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 Pacific Standard Time. One of the Fit and Freeze on a Monday or Tuesday is 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. And then some of the nutrition education. So we have a nutritionist who teaches different recipes, healthy recipes, as well as how to build immunity. Those are usually at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. But other than that, all the live classes you can do on your own time too. And then, of course, the meditations and daily movements that we prescribe that are in the member area, those are just pre-recorded. You just do them, at the time that you designated for that stuff. Usually we recommend during a transition in your day, like morning, after work, or before bed. All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much. Maybe just if you're leaving, what color are you now? Green, yellow? Are you still, hopefully if you're green, you're still green. But if you're yellow, are you still yellow? It's okay. Totally be honest. Sometimes we just greener. It's good.
Purple.
I was kidding. Sorry.
Purple. Still green. Okay, maybe just color. A little. Purple is your favorite color?
I mean, yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
nice. I love it. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to stop this recording. Everyone. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Dr. T. Thanks, John.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.